1960s, railway usage on the British Isles was falling down due to the mass productions of cars and planes. Some lines in the UK were still operated by steam locomotives, which were less fast and less convenient compared to the car and airliner. In France and Japan, they had a solution for this problem. The solution was high-speed railways lines, which allowed of speeds of 200 kilometers per hour, which is 125 miles per hour, or higher speeds than that. Japan's high-speed train was the Shinkansen Series 0 on the Tokyo Shinkansen, connecting Tokyo and Shin-Osaka. The French had the TGV 001 on the LGV Sud-Est, connecting Paris and Lyon. High-speed lines were made by making the line as straight as possible with minimal curves. The British had a different approach. They wouldn't make new lines, they would make a new type of train, which could reach amazing speeds on any type of line, straight or curved. This is how the British Rail Class 370, or the Advanced Passenger Train, APT for short, was born. At first, testing started with the Advanced Passenger Trains experimental. It was gas turbine powered using 4 Rover-built Leyland 2S 350 gas turbines and the 5th auxiliary power supplies. These initially produced 300 HP and each were progressively upgraded to 330 HP. It also had tilting mechanisms to minimize the speed loss at curves, and the brakes were hydrokinetic, which uses water to stop the train. The APTE was tested on the Great Western Main Line on the 10th August 1975 on the Great Western Main Line between Swindon and Reading, reaching an incredible speed of 152 miles per hour, which is 245 kilometers per hour. The APT never actually carried passengers except staff on trial runs. The APT is currently on display at Locomotion Museum, one of National Railway Museums, in Shildon, County Durham. Now it was time for the APTP to come out. It wasn't gas turbine as the experimental train. Instead, it was powered by 25 kilovolt, 50 Hz overhead electrification. It was used on the West Coast Main Line, going from London Euston to Glasgow Central. The APTP is one of the most powerful domestic trains to have operated in Britain. The 8 traction motors fitted to the 2 central motor cars, giving it a total output of 8,000 horsepower, which is 6,000 kilowatts. This enabled the train to set the UK rail speed of 162 miles per hour, 262 kilometers per hour in December 1979. A record that stood for 23 years until broken by Eurostar Class 373. We will talk about the 373 in a different video. On the newly completed high-speed one between London, St Pancras and the Channel Tunnel. There were many problems with this train which led to the failure which it is today. Some units had broken tilting systems, making the train wobbly, loud, and very uncomfortable. Another problem is that the 2 power cars are in the train, which means there's a gap between the train and the passengers can't go through. Soon most of the units were scrapped, but one was sent to Crewe Heritage Centre, and 1 power car was sent to Locomotion Museum in Shildon. British Rail sold their tilting train mechanism to Fiat, which is now Alstom. Sarcastically, Alstom made Pendolino trains, which run, guess where? On the West Coast Main Line, the same line the APT was supposed to run. So, that is the end of the story for the APT, but this is now the start of the Class 43, which is a not tilting train, but relatively fast as well. So, I hope you enjoyed If you did enjoy, like the video, subscribe, and goodbye.